Yeah.
I want to get the whole thing. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Second.
All right, let me do another. All right, I'm gonna try to get the. Okay, 1.
He's at Villarreal.
Alright, we'll look at more headshot style. And
That's where he was at. Villarreal.
No, that's.
Oh, yeah, no, I did.
I did.
Oh, yes.
But I was like, kind of major politician.
great. Thank you. You want to do one too?
Oh, let's do it.
Okay, let's do it. Professional headshots here.
LinkedIn headshot.
Can we see some LinkedIn? Yeah.
Alrighty. You good?
You about ready? We're gonna do one more photo.
Oh, working.
Okay, 1, 2. Oh my gosh. You look like you're running for office.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Rich. Thank you.
Of course, yeah.
So what I can try
So
to
happy.
This is like.
I was gonna say, you guys talked about.
से जाके करना पड़ेगा जो वो था इसका पैनल ये नहीं पैनल में जो लाइक जो उसके अरे यार लेआउट से उसके आते हैं ऑटोमेटिक चलो अच्छा yeah, something like that.
How far is that? The one, right? Oh, it's six.
Hello.
The one that was.
Sorry.
One was. Oh, I see.
No, I don't.
Wait, you take the
I
path?
love your journal script.
You take the path?
Yes,
Yours
no.
might come out different.
So.
This is Japan.
No, journal script. Just search up journal script on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. That is specific. नहीं चल रही चलिए तो छोड़ो यहीं से चला देंगे लाइव जूम पे भी Okay, hello everyone.
Hello.
So we are here for a workshop that is going to help you figure out the resources if you want to do any project creating change in a community. I want to give a disclaimer about this presentation. This presentation is intellectual property of the United Nations Fund for Population Activity, and actually I am the creator of this course back in 2007 and 2008 when I was working for the UNFPA. Because I created for the UNFPA, so it's their intellectual property, and if I have to use their intellectual property, I want to make sure that their logo is there. And yeah, I created this in 2007 and 8 specifically for the youth in the underprivileged area on how they can, mobilize the resources. First of all, figure out the resources, map the resources, what the resources are, and how they can mobilize those resources for development. Is it working? Clicker? No? Let's go back to the first one. Okay, so we talk about community development. So it's going to be very interactive workshop where you will do the activity here as well, a mapping exercise. But it's going to be really, really interactive. So I want to ask a question. Do you guys have a definition of community? What is community?
I think community is like relationships amongst a lot of people that kind of like make a whole group.
Okay, anyone else?
A place where you share the same traits as other people, or similar traits.
Okay, anyone else? Community, definition of community. Okay, we move to the next slide. Adi, if we can, previous one. Yeah, a group of people living in the same place or having a particular characteristic in common. The condition of sharing or having certain attitude and interest in common, you create a community. For example, this room is a community. We are sharing a common space, which is really important, a common physical space community. And another thing why we are gathered here is the shared interest in the topic of youth development, United Nations, and etc. So we are sharing a same space, we are sharing a same motive to be here, and we are forming a community. So this is what we say the specific definition of our community. Adi, next slide. Uh, Next one, development. Okay, so without reading this, tell me if you understand the definition of development. Now you're reading it, so you don't answer. Yes, sorry?
You want me to share?
Yeah, a definition of development. What do you think development is?
Development is like a cycle or a process that you go through to grow as a person or to grow something small to.
Okay, that's fair. Yes,
Changing something, doing something to change
Yeah.
something.
okay. Anyone else? Yes,
I think maybe like to improve in some kind of way.
yes, that's true. Okay, so according to this, now you can look at the screen. The development, like in making it very simplified, change for the better. You are in an undesirable situation, and the change from undesirable to a desirable situation is called a development. Any sort of positive thing that happening is a development. So it can be, development negative that is not in your control. Let's just talk about development. And in very specific common language, it is seen as coming out from undesirable situation into a desirable situation where you want to change something. And it's required interventions, and it requires several interventions to happen. You will require all this knowledge for the exercise and your final presentation tonight today.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish.
What we're seeing is a Zoom screen.
No.
Where is the pen? Remove. Stop sharing the screen for a while. Stop. 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 Remove.
That's what happened. इसका लैपटॉप हो गया.
It's moving slow. Because of the Zoom. Okay. Yeah, I put on the share. Okay. Uh, can you open the screen? Okay, so talking about the interventions. Now I call these interventions 4A. And I had a conversation with you guys on a body language yesterday. Yeah. So raising awareness is one of the A, awareness raising, advocacy, allocation of resources, and association. Today, what we specifically gonna discuss in detail is allocation of resources in this presentation and moving forward, though this presentation is very, very long. Awareness raising, you all know, enhancement or improvement of existing knowledge and skills that you will go and raise awareness. We all are pretty much aware of that. That's why we're here. Advocacy that needs individual groups and institutions, the market, state, civil society outside of the community. So when you talk about advocacy, you are doing advocacy outside of the community. We already know what we're talking about. For example, if we are going to talk about, again, any example that we want to do a policy making or something to do on a climate change, let's say a plastic ban. So we already know that if you're talking about a plastic ban, we're already implementing in our lives, and to do and talk about it. To outside of the world, we need to do the advocacy, which is outside of our community, and we do that together. So it is really important to know what actual advocacy is and how you do it. As it says by the definition, the need to engage individuals, groups, and institutions outside of the community. Now, the third intervention, allocation of resources, which means greater access and ownership and control over resources. We're going to discuss this here, how we do that during our exercise. Association, the need to organize community members and create local institution. For example, IOI is an institution, an association. That's why you're here. You already have an association part. In many cases, you create an organization. You create a group, and that's called the association, a platform where everyone comes together and then you form a community. You already are part of association, and then you move forward. Uh, Next, Adir. Okay, that's it. Now, this is what do you guys see this? That's me.
See you, Mr. Ali.
That's me. I think it's the frame that's messing up. Anyways, you guys see the half glass that is full and half is empty. But in this context, what do you see in that glass when you see such kind of a diagram? This one. What do you see? Yes.
It's like usually like optimist versus pessimist type thing. How do you look at a situation?
Yeah, that's fair. Anyone else of what they see? Can be anything. Just say what do you think, what you're seeing. Yes,
A cup of wine.
that's fair.
I see a cup of wine.
That's fair. Yes.
I see red.
Sorry.
I see red.
Red. Okay. Yes.
I see blue.
Okay. It's okay. Go to the next slide. In a community sense, it's usually what people will say that half glass full, half empty. What we see here, if this glass is a community, we see that the communities have deficiencies. Yes, every community does. A community and its citizens have capacities and assets. And that's what we're going to discuss today. So deficiencies can be overcome by the half glass full, that is the wine, communities and its citizens and what capacities and assets they have. Okay, next. Assets and resource mapping. Now, this is where the exercise starts, and I will be requiring your complete attention here. If you understand this correctly, we can do our exercise pretty well, and this mapping exercise will help you be a perfect, not a perfect, but near to perfect public diplomat that is involved in public diplomacy and development at the same time. Asset and resource mapping, a systematic process for identifying and detailing resources, individual skills and organizational resources and strength in community. What we are going to do is that we will go through a process where we will be identifying and identifying the resources that we have in detail and what are the strengths we have in our communities. And the purpose of mapping is to mobilize assets and gifts. And when we will map those assets, and the whole aim is going to be how we are going to mobilize those resources and how we're going to use those resources to create a project program or create development in our community using our association and networks. Adir. Okay, now these are the community needs. Now, again, disclaimer, this map that you are seeing is made almost 18 years ago and for a very specific community that I was working with at the time. And so this since then I um, use this as like, the hallmark. And while you will be drawing this map using that big paper on the chart at the back, you will be drawing your own thing. Now, these are the need assets. If you see in a very larger uh, box, is that represents the larger spectrum of the community and what are the needs there, what are the problems there, unemployment, illiteracy, early school leavers, homelessness. That pretty much seems like New York City. Uh, so yeah, that's a very big map of the thing, like where you're trying to solve a problem, what sorts of issues exist in a bigger thing. That's where you write them. No matter how silly it may sound to you, you need to write those there. And then you talk about the inner box, that is the medium box, that is the mid box, and then you talk about other deficiencies that we have people depend on welfare, alcoholism, drug abuse that comes about more in an intimate group like a family or something. Now, the inner box is an individual, like much smaller problem, more intimate problem. In this sense, it's about like, bullying, people getting engaged in crime and have mental health crisis. This is again another example, but when you will be using it, the need, like it is like the problem mapping, like what are the different problems, big problems, and then the ones that are related to individuals or the smaller spectrum of the problem that you are trying to solve. Next one, Matthew. Okay, now this is the most important one where you have to work on, and I will send you all this one, especially this map on the email, so you know how to map all of these things. Now, this one is a community assets mapping, the most important thing that you need to know. And you can use this as, in any project, any program that you're doing in your community, in your school, in your country, in your nation, people watching online also as well can use this map absolutely to, map the assets that you have. So let's talk about the assets here, how I have mapped here. Um, Local institutions. For example, I want to do a plastic ban in my community, in just my neighborhood. And what I will look at, like, okay, what are the resources I have in a larger sense? And the first of the resources, the largest resources that you have to look are your local institutions. that are very key and the most important thing to do anything. Even in the case of the International Organization of Youth, local institutions are our best bet, are our best resource that we have. That can be businesses, that can be schools, hospital facilities, government agencies. Giving the example of the International Organization of Youth, our local institution support to put together this conference was the AFS Intercultural Program, who provided us this space to do this conference. And if I talk about in a larger sense that we conduct International Youth Conference in Los Angeles, that is a bigger spectrum. Now we talk about our resources there, local institution or the school. Yes, UCLA. You see that UCLA is the school that gives us the free venue to do it. Local council, yes, we have the board of supervisors. Board of supervisors is something in Los Angeles County is the local jurisdiction of the government where they provide us some funding or other resources that we need to do things. Government agencies like Department of Youth Development of Los Angeles County, Department of Education of Los Angeles County. These are actual resources. And businesses, yes, they're like the businesses like restaurants that provide us free food. And these are the things that I'm telling you that are actually we do these things when we do our IYC in New York or we do it in Los Angeles. These are our assets that we know that we can completely rely on. And when we have on the map, things become pretty much easy. And now if we come into the smaller group, the community associations. Again, putting the example of Los Angeles IYC, the community associations was the United Nations Association clubs there of Los Angeles, and then the Rotary Club there, and some embassies and consul generals there in Los Angeles who came forward to support us in different capacities, giving us some resources and many other things. Some NGOs that were helping us bring some young people there. So these are like community associations there that were really helping us do things. Gift of individuals, the most important thing as well. Gift of individuals means, for example, Adir right here. He is managing the whole technology. He is bringing the value in. Kelly, who is an educational expert, who teach at the Columbia University, at the high school, and being a musician and also a magician. So she have done a lot of things, and she is a gift to an organization, and her gifts are being an artist, being a creative person. These gifts are a person who manage the crisis and also look after technology, and all other volunteers that are helping us, have her other expertise, Derek have her other expertise, and those are the gifts of individuals. Now you have to find out the people over there. As you can see that youth, yes, we have young people there, labeled people. Do you know what are the labeled people?
The labor people you said?
Labeled. You see this thing here that says label?
Oh,
Yes.
I'm assuming like wealthy people, like businessmen and stuff.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Yeah.
I'm thinking like disabled people.
No, no. Yeah.
people that are known and hold titles in the community.
Yes, that's correct. That's to the point. Yes. Labeled people like they have some sort of title, doctor, engineer, philanthropist, teacher, professor, president, vice president, congressman, etc., etc. Labeled people who have some sort of social recognition label. They have some sort of label with them. Those are, I think, the people. They're very helpful as well. In our case, yes, we do have. So these are some of the people that you would need to map. If you know this map, trust me, using this map for years, we have done RYC at zero cost. Yes, for years. And because we have the right local institutions, we have a right community association, and then we have right individuals, and we still work with them, really help us do things. Even if someone can drive you around, even if someone is creative and volunteers and all that. So now what your exercise is going to be two maps. you are already divided into the groups, both online and in person. And what you have to do, have to be really smart, creative, and quick. That you have to assume of a problem, that you are trying to resolve a community issue. What are those community issues? Map those community issues, and then you have to do the asset mapping of what asset do you have to move forward to, you know, uh, with this thing. So use that paper before do that. Yeah, so this is going to be on the screen in your group. And even if you like to be seated on the floor by writing this, be comfortable doing that. Grab two chart paper each group. Ahad, if you can help them do that. And we'll give you like 15 minutes to 20 minutes, both online and person. Rashida, please take the lead online.
This thing might be.
You guys understand, right?
Yeah, we understand.
If not, if you don't understand, we are here to answer any questions you have.
What's the group, right?
Yeah.
No.
What's your question?
Is it supposed to be an issue related to labor union?
Yeah, we're just revising the topic of
What?
Wait,
Yes.
excuse me.
It's supposed to be related.
Excuse me. What about group-based labs? So can you join a group?
Yeah, yeah. You can come on the group if you want to. Yeah. How many? This is one. Easy for you. And they may need some markers, so we'll provide you guys
We need an issue, and we need an issue on that.
Unless you want to solve like, I don't know, you want to solve the eye. Guys, let me solve. No, I don't know. Okay.
Here we go.
do it on the glass.
Yeah.
Okay. to our guy in the suit.
All right, we'll reconvene.
Don't get this.
Hmm?
Don't get this.
How do you know?
बता रहा हूँ बिल्डिंग खाली है 2 बज गया लोग जो भी थे चले गए और अब खाट दी
Is everyone inside? Or is it the kitchen or in the office? Yeah. Okay, everyone, so we're gonna, can I have everyone's attention? Can I have everyone's attention?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we are going to wrap the session. I'm pretty much sure that you guys have done a lot of mapping, I see. And at the last session of the day, at around 3 o'clock, we'll give you 3 to 4 minutes each group to talk about, right, standing here, talk about what you have written and what your thought process worked like, and a few other presentation, like if you have any after that. So we're gonna do that around 3 o'clock or a little before 3 o'clock. So we're gonna wrap this session right here, and we do the debrief of this one at the last one because that's supposed to be at the last. So now we're gonna have a small 5-minute keynote from Zoya Klinsky. Is she ready?
She's supposed to be on the screen here.
Okay. So, okay, we'll see you at the next session then. Thank you.